Sorry, excuse me. Just give me a moment. Right. So where this CoVersity started, or this thought of CoVersity started, when we started thinking about all all the youth who have different interests, like how Tej has an interest in baking, and they want to take it up and move it over into the into profession and grow professionally. Not only this was one thought that drove CoVersity. The second thought that drove the idea of CoVersity was of discovering one's interest. So not necessarily, in fact, this age of 14 to 21 is an age for still finding one's domain. Not that it stops at 21, you can still take more time. But the whole idea is, hey, can I discover what is my real passion? And we all change passion. So how do I know what is kind of, really of long-term meaning and value to me? So if you put both these together, it really translated into one word. If I deep dive, if I deeply do work in one domain or multiple domains, then chances are I would be able to find what really I want to. And how does what kind of work one does? Well, one does work which is out there in the world, just like Tej was trying to do business. And we will meet Sahil and see how he is, been developing his journey. So that's broadly what the concept of CoVersity is, with a very interesting twist to it. There is a co in the beginning of CoVersity. What that really means is that we form a cohort of all the youths who are doing this journey or similar journey, and then they kind of you can say go together in many different ways. They could be supporting each other, facilitating, pushing, pulling each other. But most importantly, they could also be doing work together. And that becomes almost like an organizational thing. Obviously, there is the whole community to support and guide. So that's the, you can say, the base concept of CoVersity. Yeah. If I'm seeing he's still not joined in, Sahil. So anyway, I will buzz him on the call and just find out where is he stuck. But meanwhile, if anybody has a starting question, we can take one or two questions. Anything based on what I've shared, it's on the screen also. Yeah, so we can take one or two questions and then we can move on to hopefully by the time Sahil will join in. Yeah, any questions? Sahil is just logging in. So and not just questions, any thoughts about this whole professional journey, meaning when people are thinking about open learning with children as young as 3, 4, or 10, 11, or definitely 14, 15, 16, people start thinking, hey, all this is great. We can learn what we want to learn, do what we want to learn, but how will I get to start earning, or how will I create or carve out my own future or my own professional self? So that's a very common, let's say, concern. So please go ahead, ask if you have any specific questions or general questions. Just buying also time for Sahil to join in. Yeah. So you can just ask a specific question or share a thought about this whole journey into profession, or you can ask a specific question about CoVersity. No thought? Everybody's cool about future? That's nice.
It's CoVersity now. CoVersity.
CoVersity. It's actually CoVersity when one is doing what one is passionate about. it's not so much about whether I'll succeed or fail, because I know both are part of life, but it's more about me enjoying it thoroughly. Yeah, so it is cool versus different of the way you put it. Thanks. Okay, just give me a minute. I think Sahil has some difficulty logging. Kritika, he's having some technical issue. I'm just helping him out till that time. If you want to share about, this whole thing about the co-part of it, the co-versity co-part of it.
Yeah, sure, Ratnesh. So somewhere that's the reason it's called CoVersity, right? Because uh, it's always comforting when you have like if you're passionate about something and you have other youth also who are almost in the same age frame, and you all are going through you're on a similar journey in that sense. Like you may have different domains that you might be interested or passionate about, but the very fact that somewhere all of you are very eager and passionate and dedicated to find out what is that is your calling, that very fact of coming together and finding your calling, that makes the journey even more enriching. And so while people like Sahil, who will be sharing his journey, have been doing self-led journeys and finding their profession in their respective passions. Uh, Coversity is more of an inspiration from these journeys, where to kind of formally make a dedicated space where all these youth can come together. So people like Sahil have been doing it, and they've been forming their own connections and synergies, and they've been, it's been informal, but it has been happening. So it's not like something new that we've come up with. It is something that's been happening. We've just given it a name, and we've said, oh, this is a space, come together, as passionate youth, form cohorts, figure out and learn, and deep dive into your domains and keep exploring for as much as you wish to, because this is the age where you really have the flexibility and the energy and the uh, drive to explore many things. So that's been, in a way, the history of Coversity, if you may ask me. We've seen all these youth do it by themselves, and then we thought, why not bring a space where they can actually come together, and it also gives uh, a sort of a legitimacy to these kind of explorations, right? Even the industry starts taking people seriously when it's come as a concept and as a group of people coming, and we see many more people leading on such journeys. So that was really the inspiration and intention behind Coversity. Ratnesh, how are we doing?
So I think Sahil is still facing some issues. So what we had planned was interaction with Sahil, and then we thought we will share a small presentation on Coversity. So I think I'll just switch that. I will, we'll do the presentation first, and then we can move. By the time, hopefully, he'll figure out. He's saying some internet issue. So let's give him a little more time. Kritika, you want to take the presentation, or you want me to?
Sure, I can take through it.
Okay.
But I think slides you'll have to.
Yep, I've put the slides. Yeah.
Yes. So somewhere we briefly talked about it in, while Ratnesh was trying to get in touch with Sahil. It's really about, can we give our youth the gift of, letting them discover their passions, and yes, grow in it professionally too, because that's what is the aim and objective in that phase, right? You want to see how you make a profession out of it. And you may be having one clear interest, or you are, still confused because you have too many interests, or you are not sure about your interests at all. Whatever be your category, you may fall in whatever category, but you start with one interest and keep exploring and doing deep dive explorations to see if it can be your passion as a profession. Yeah, next. Okay, so typically we say start with a minimum commitment of 1 year. And this 1 year is divided into 2 cycles of 6 months each. So what happens in one cycle of 6 months? The first few weeks you're at the campus along with along with your cohort. Uh, and you are really designing your roadmap, seeing which areas in your domain you want to focus, you're connecting with the industry, and all that is happening as a cohort together. After that, the next 8 to 12 weeks is called the industry connect. And in this phase, you are really touching base and connecting with the industry. Now, you could take up an internship, you could do a project, you could apprentice take up an apprenticeship with a mentor, but somewhere it has to be an industry connect. So that's the and it can be in any city. It may require you to travel, or it may require you to be at your home if it is work from home. So all that is very dynamic. Yeah. Next one, Ratnesh.
Yeah, so I'm sorry, I missed showing the slides. I'm just showing the slide again. Yeah,
Okay.
this is the part when you are on, the youth is on the campus and all together working on different stuff, as the slide is showing. Yeah, Kritika, can continue.
Yeah. Okay. And the last few weeks or the last 1 month, you come back to the campus, and it's really a time of, coming back together as a cohort. And this time again, we continue with the cohort work. And this is also a time for reflection. We see, oh, do I really want to continue in this domain for the next cycle, or do I switch my domain? So this is a time for reflection. So you start with a year, we say, but it really is up to you to continue for as long as you want, in terms of, taking that professional leap. If you are in a space of, okay, I'm done, I can, I've found a job, or I've kind of, embarked on my entrepreneur journey. So that time, and I no longer need such an ecosystem, that's when you're on your own. But this ecosystem is with you for as long as you want. Next. What are the benefits when you're on such a deep dive, intense exploration? You are industry ready, and you are connecting with the industry from day one. So somewhere you have uh, a deep understanding of how your domain works, and you are working with industry. You're networking with them. You're also understanding how to network, express yourself, reach out to people, all those things, and you're creating a solid portfolio, which is your work certification. So you're in a way ready for the industry. But while you're ready for, in a professional sense, all these explorations along with your cohort is also transforming you at a very self level. You are learning to lead your life in terms of, having self leadership. You learn how to work with others, and, there could be disagreements and how to handle those relationships, and the much needed living skills. Okay, so we don't like to see in terms of outcomes, like, okay, what will I get? No, each individual is unique, and based on your aspirations, your goals, there are so many possibilities. We've listed 4 main ones, but it really is very unique to an individual. You may want to be an entrepreneur, or you may say, no, I want to take up a job. You may say, no, I want to be a freelancer and, dabble in multiple domains, let's say. There could be some domains which you may think, okay, I want to make profession out of it, but at the end of it, you say, no, I like it for the joy of doing it. So those are the creative pursuits. So somewhere, these were the highlights of what it means to be part of CoVersity, and how your journey would really entail if you become part of CoVersity.
Okay, thanks. So I'm sure there are questions. If you have questions, I would suggest maybe you can just write them down and we will take on all the questions that we can today. But if you have something which is really bothering you and you want to ask it right away, you can ask right away. And yeah, Sahil is there, so we'll start with Sahil in another minute. Um, and we'll take it from there. Oops, where did he go? Okay. Yeah, there's a
Jyoti has
question.
a question. Jyoti, the thing is, if you've seen the slides, CoVersity is all about interest. So there is no particular educational or qualificational requirement that we ask, but the requirement is like how dedicated or how committed are you to find your passion? Like you may not be sure, that's natural, but do you have the desire and the, uh, passion to find your passion? So that's the place we start with. So there's no educational requirement. In fact, our whole thing is that you're work certified. Your work speaks for what your capabilities are. So there's no certificate that you get, like a piece of paper that you would get at the end of CoVersity. But yes, it would be like a portfolio of all the work you would have done.
Okay, so I think we can switch channels. Hi, Sahil. I'm meeting him after a long time. He seems to be growing very fast. So good to have you here, Sahil. You're on mute. You'll have to unmute.
Yeah. Hi,
And yeah. So yeah. So Sahil came to Aarohi long back. So and possibly he'll start his story even before he came to Aarohi when he shares. But what I wanted to share was how I relate or remember Sahil. He's always doing. That's for me, Sahil. He's always doing something. If he's not doing X, he's doing Y. If he's not doing Y, Z, and whatever he does with some kind of a drive to do without really bothering about anything else. And the other thing which I really liked about Sahil was that how he would, in a very subtle way, care for everybody around him. So these two things I've kind of I would say I would like them to rub on to me, other way around. Yeah. So go ahead, Sahil. First, share a little of your story, and then we can all have interaction with you.
Sure. Thanks, Ratan. So I'll start probably from my conventional schooling time. So throughout my school journey, it was never that interesting or easy for me. So back of my mind, like it always wasn't like, never felt like the right thing for me, or I never could fit into the conventional schooling thing, as in uh, some or the other where I could never just sit in a class. So that's how this whole problem of sitting down and studying and sitting started. Then my parents started looking for other options, as in what are the other things I can do and things. That's when we got to know about Aarohi through a family friend. And then we had attended a summer camp. And from there, I joined Aarohi.
How old were you at that time?
I had just turned 15
Okay.
when I joined Aarohi. So yeah, so probably I did till my 8th grade of schooling, and 1 week of 9th grade, and that was last of normal schooling for me. And since then, it's been a very adventurous, interesting journey throughout. As in, from Aarohi, initially when I joined, I wasn't sure what the whole thing was about, because it was a new environment for me and a complete new change. There was, because I was used to like 8 o'clock school bell rings, I'm in class. Okay, then first subject, second subject, and then another bell, you're out. So here I am supposed to decide what I am supposed to do. And it was a whole new change for me in terms of how the whole ecosystem in Aarohi worked and how everyone is over there. It's not like one person in school tells you what to do and you do that. So then the whole change took a little time for me. That is where it could like help me in terms of this change helped me in a way that I could understand myself where what I actually wanted to do only I had to do there. Apart from somebody else telling me to do something and me doing that. So that whole thing took a lot of time. Then when in particularly talking about ROE, when I say like how where I've reached right now is probably because of ROE, because my interest and passion for photography developed from ROE. Because over there I could literally like focus more on photography. I was given more options in terms of opportunities. I could say I could attend some wildlife photography courses, and through that again my networking through that and kept becoming better and things. So that process was I didn't actually, I kind of skipped a bit in between. So if I break down the thing in my journey in ROE was so initially there was a bit of confusion and stuff, as in the change, and then when it's self-directed, so that changed. You making decision for yourself is a lot of responsibility in general. So well, how you use it up is also an interesting thing. Uh, and then what do I say? So then, like from ROE, this thing, then after a point of time, I uh, started working with some photographers when I left ROE. That's when I thought I'll start going in that stream line. Then about a year or two, I was working with few photographers. Then I started freelancing on my own. I was about 17 years old by then. And that's when I started like freelancing on my own and getting few projects here and then. And so then after that, I started working with advertising firm. I got into the company as a photographer. Well, then COVID happened. Then that's when I picked up graphic designing. And then since then, I was there with that company for about a year. Then 2021, I decided to start my own firm. I started a digital marketing and advertising firm and a web developer. And till date, that's happening. And I kind of so
You also want to share about your love for motor cars and bikes and anything that moves on wheels, and how you have also gone deep into that and what all you've done there also. Apart from
so pardon, I
advertising.
didn't get you.
I'm saying apart from the advertising part, which is obviously you have turned it into a profession with your
Yeah.
organization, how you have also looked at the other sport. You were into rally sports and all of that, and the motor car industry. Yeah.
So thing with cars and bikes has always been a passion, or actually more than passion, obsession towards me. Because from the time I was born, I was really obsessed with cars and bikes in general. Then I like some random. I had a one point of time. Every week something I used to do in Ratnesh's car in campus. Something I'll have to do, push it down from the top, then fix something on the battery, do that, do this. That is all. Every week, at least once, that would be there. Then every weekend also randomly something on the cars I used to do. Then I started taking my friends' parents' old vehicles and started restoring. So then that became like a obsession, because a non-running thing, when you get it running, that's a very interesting thing what I picked up then. Because it'll be in like pieces of metal, non-running, which is like, people would call it scraps, but then when you get it running, that's a whole different thing. Then I've been till like recent, I've been building bikes nowadays. Yeah, so that's been happening. Then motorsports, I got into through photography. My the person who I was reporting to realized that I was more obsessed with cars, so he's like, he put me onto the motorsports thing, and I was asked to organize a rally in Kerala. Yeah, yeah. So
Okay. Okay. Do you want to share more, or do you want people to ask you questions?
I think people can ask me.
Okay. So they're opening up to everybody to ask or chit chat with Sahil. Yeah, what he has not really dwelled on too much is that he has always been trying to experience things hands-on. So even when he was interested in photography, when he was with Aarohi, he would keep on looking for, can I go and click that auntie's restaurant menu, or that person? I will keep on hearing these stories. He will keep on telling me, I did this portfolio for her. So all those, the live projects which we were talking about in CoVersity, I think that's what he was doing kind of on his own, obviously with support of his CoVersity, his friends, relatives, and so on, all supporting him with leads. And then he would, so I think that snowballed into more and more photographers seeing him, connecting with him, and then liking him, being a kind of an assiduous student of theirs or apprentice of theirs. And I think that's where it all kind of picked up. That's how I've observed his journey. So this whole thing about, let me just go out and do something with it, right? And then just not just hold on to in terms of I'm learning this, but no, I'm doing it. And I keep telling Sahil and other likes of Sahil whom we have observed, that you guys are the real inspiration behind CoVersity, because we have seen you guys just do work, and work comes more and you do more. And even just last week when I was chatting with him, he's saying, I have some projects in Dubai, so I'm now going there, and more to learn. So he's only thinking about how can I learn more by just doing more work out there in the world. So that's amazing, Sahil. I just wanted to add that because you didn't add that.
And I missed out on that.
Sure, no problem. Yeah. So others, yeah, you can go ahead, ask him, talk to him. Yeah.
Hi Sahil,
I,
I'm Hari from Hyderabad.
okay.
I did 10th in NIOS.
Okay.
So now I'm preparing for 12th. Even I'm also doing video editing in Hyderabad.
Okay.
So can you tell me how did you started this all?
Started what? I didn't get you.
No. How did you started about photography? This thing, I didn't hear what were you speaking to Ratnesh.
Maybe he wants you to share how you not just started the photography, but also got on to the advertising and social media and all that, website designing, and how did you kind of move ahead in that journey?
Yeah. I'm asking that one only.
Sure, Hari.
So I started getting into photography as just like a hobby when I used to just take my father's camera and just go around taking pictures around my apartment at probably the
Oh,
age of 12, 13. And
okay.
when I seriously started picking up this more than just a hobby was when I was probably 16.
Okay.
And because I used to carry my camera everywhere and going around. So then I used to go cycling too then. So that circle of friends used to have some businesses, and they kept asking me if I want to come shoot for them. So any projects here and there, like one of another Aarohi child's parents had a company. I used to go shoot for them. And my friend had another restaurant. I used to shoot for them. And any one used to ask me like if I want to shoot, I would just be like, yeah, and I'll go. So then I kept shooting. Then when I realized like, okay, I've been doing this for a while. Then what's like the next thing? That's when I kept exploring more options in photography. So I started off with just commercial product photography, as in food and products. Then from that, because my all-time favorite was cars and bikes, then moved on to automotive.
Same, even I'm also favorite of cars and motorcycles like you only.
Okay. Nice.
I am a big fan of Yamaha RX 100.
Oh, nice.
I guess you heard about that bike.
Yeah, yeah.
It all started in the year 2010.
Okay.
Back in the day, I didn't even know what's the difference between a two-stroke engine and a four-stroke engine back then.
Okay.
So one thing to say, every time when we used to pick our mom from the office, me
Hmm.
and my dad, we both used to go on the bike in the
Okay.
in the high-tech city highways. And I was a very small child, and I used to sleep on the tank. And
Okay,
I
hurry,
heard it.
hurry, pause.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
know you're very excited.
Yeah.
You two bike buddies getting together.
Yeah.
Maybe you can connect with Sahil offline and have a chit chat with him and,
Yeah, yeah,
and connect with him. Right
yeah.
now, let's just, yeah, Sahil. So do little tell about, so, okay, so this was photography. And then how did it get converted into, as in, how did you learn about, let's say, advertising, website designing, graphic designing? What was your journey there?
So when I this adventure sports and motorsports company I worked with.
Hmm.
So that's like that's where the seed for this graphic designing was planted, because I was kind of overloaded with work over there, in a way that just to save up time on coordination, I used to, because I knew basic Photoshop back then, I used to be like, I'll design posters.
Hmm.
So I started off like that. And then any small creatives for any of my friends or anyone, I used to do a basic poster or any leaflet in such. Then I can only thank COVID for this, where a photography job which was offered in an advertising firm, because of the COVID restriction, no physical shoots were allowed. Then he kept, during the lockdown, I was talking to my boss. Then he's like, he got to know me better, and he's like, then you should start graphic designing. So then he put me onto that team, where I was working with them for a few months, about 4 5 months with that team. That's where I picked up this social media marketing, because I was handling 3 companies' Instagram handles. So I used to design posters for them and then post them, and learned about a little bit of ads and promotions through that. And after that, then it started getting a bit stagnant in that company, where that's all the work was offered. That is when I decided to move back to Kerala, and then I started my own firm. So before I started that, me and a friend of mine used to just freelance and uh, make posters or certificates for colleges, just basic work like that. Then we thought we'll just start off with digital marketing, Facebook and Instagram. And we started off like that. Uh, yeah, so that's more of like the journey to from graphic designing to advertising in general.
It was all learning on the job.
Very true.
Don't worry, we all learn the same way. Whether we go anywhere or do any course, we still really learn on the job.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, more questions, people. If you have questions to ask, especially to Sahil, or if you still have a questions about CoVersity, you can also ask those. So open floor.
Okay, Eknoor wants to ask. Okay, I'll let her ask first, and then I can ask my question.
Hello, actually, Eknu is out. I'm her mother. She's gone to sports. So actually, my kids wanted to. I wanted them to join for the boot camp, which is I think coming in the month of June.
Yes.
Yeah. So is that going to be, like helpful in creating the interest, like because it's a very short time to work on a project. So is it going to be interesting for the? I know it's going to be interesting. I don't know. So can I just know more about it?
Ritika, you'll take that. She wants to know more about what will the boot camp be all about.
Like for a beginner, like for
Sure.
create her interest.
Sure.
We live in Punjab and
Yeah. So I believe your question was around how will they be able to really discover their interest and all, because it's a 5-day thing, right?
interesting for them, like basically because like you have to encourage kids, like, oh, we're going to go to a place, we're going to enjoy, and so we're going to have interesting learning and all that. So
Okay.
like
Okay. So Eknoor's mom don't know about enjoyment in the first place, but there's a lot of action that they'll be doing. That is something that we can guarantee for something. And fun and all is like a byproduct, because it is them who are, they decide, they plan, they implement. So we are just there to maybe just guide them here and there. And we've done like what, 3 boot camps so far, and we felt very useless in that process. It was all driven by them, and they are motivated, they are driven. So it's interesting for them because they want to do it, and that is what happens at CoVersity also. So because it's like a trailer to the bigger journey. They decide, they design, they implement, and they plan, and they fail and they succeed. Everything is driven by them. So I think when they are invested and they want to do it, it's interesting for them. If that answers your question.
my daughter was like, I have already picked my topic. I've already picked my topic of interest, and this is the interaction. This is just interaction with everybody, like to know more about the people over there. So how does that fit? Because it doesn't fit. It doesn't sound like a project.
Okay. So see, the idea is how do you really self-lead your journey? That is one aspect. Like, you have your interest, but how can you really plan and lead your journey by yourself? It's like getting into that mode. And how do you do it with others, right? How do you work in a team or a cohort where you have to, kind of look at each other's point of view, perspective. So it's at a very it's at a deeper level than just interest. Is it's one part of a big part rather of the whole experience. But the very fact that you're working on yourself, we have like self-visioning exercises, and then there are self-challenges where whatever is her interest, for a week, can she create an outcome out of it, So these are the things that she will dabble in. So it's very intense because it's short term also, and she gets a chance to see what all really what all encompasses her personality when she's thrown into a cohort, when she wants to do some intense thing in a challenge of her interest, or she has to go and present something to the world. So these are the things. I mean, just giving you glimpses.
Last thing, like what if she doesn't find a group like of according to her interest? She doesn't find. What if she doesn't find a group as per her interest? Like, so she's going to work solo on that. Like, if she has something different on mind, she's not able to. Yeah.
That's a very valid situation. Like, there may be whatever her interest, there may be that she's the only one, but the fact that there are others who are also passionate about something else. To give you an example, like we had people who were interested in filmmaking, and there was only one girl, and there were 2 people in designing, but somewhere they could, collaborate. They found a means to collaborate. They wanted to collaborate, not because they're in the same domain or, they're in a different domain. That was not the case. So we don't want the domains to be a rigid or a fixed way for them to collaborate. They can collaborate based on their domain, or they can collaborate based on, their needs or the vibe they get. But yes, there could be a possibility that she's the only one in her interest, but she's not alone in that sense. Like all of them are, trying to pursue something in their in their passions. So in that sense, she's not alone. Yes.
Yeah, also they could be doing projects which require different skills. Somebody, a project may require a filmmaker, a writer, somebody who goes out and does the coordination and so on. So there are different skills that could be required when they are working together. But the whole idea is not really that everybody should be of my skill, but because we are all together, as in the youth are together, that energy is what is really the big deal. The domain doesn't matter. At least that's how we look at it,
So
and that's been our experience. Yeah.
okay. My fear was like, I as a parent, like I want my kids to explore, different learning spaces, like feel free to do what they love to do. But at the same time, I find it difficult to, take them out, to convince them out of their comfort zone, like to explore. So I'm like, so it shouldn't be, oh, we went and, like, so it was so boring and all that, so all these fears. I know you're doing a wonderful job, but like that's why I'm attracted. Like, they must, like, to begin with, like they should, come to your, like I've heard a lot about Aarohi, co-facilitation, and so I want them to, though we stay in Punjab, it's a challenge to, like, I want them to, they've never traveled by train also. So my husband's like, you can better go by air. So I'm like, no, they must learn to, like trains are becoming outdated these days, so, but they should, yeah. So,
Yeah, so that's why a boot camp is a good place to start. At least they get an experience of a week. So it's not just about experiencing CoVersity, it's also about experiencing people, what kind of people we are, what kind of a space this is. The campus is a very unique space. And yeah, the kind of you get a sense of the whole setup. And if they like it, then they can take it forward.
and how do we connect, like, with open co-hosting? Like, you want to contribute, like, there's this online space, no? Like,
You are saying, yeah. So parents would, your family, if your child is part of CoVersity, anyway, the whole family becomes part of the Aarohi community, and anyway, you will be connected on a regular basis. So we have a kind of a system for that. So once, first you experience, you decide, and then when you're part of when you are interested to join, then onwards we will guide you how you can be part of.
Like, how do we, like, then you'll guide us how to contribute online, because
yes.
Yeah,
You could be in another city as a parent, but you would be, as I said, connected, contributing as well as getting. So it's not that parents only's role is to contribute, not at all. I would say parents should first be the learners, then the rest of the
contribution.
the
I mean,
both
the
ways.
entire thing, learning as well as participating. So
Absolutely.
and last thing, I've taken so much time. So
No, please.
last thing, my son, he's 16 years, just entered his 11th grade. So he's interested in too many things, but not able to focus on one. Like he says, I don't have. So I mean, will this boot camp be helpful for a child like him also, who's not able to, like, he has so many things on mind, wants to do this, that, start a business, do PCM, do this. So not able to organize, like, what and when and how. So,
Kritika, you want to respond to that?
Yes, absolutely. Because whether they're sure of their interests or they have, in fact, it's a very good news if he has multiple interests. This is like the time where he can take up one after the other. I think we've learned and heard Sahil from his experience of how he started with photography, then went into so he'll explore and figure it out over the course of his journey. But the bigger point is he should be doing in all of his interests, if that is really if he's really passionate about it. So yeah, boot camp is a good space for him to see what passions are really, what is he crazy about and what he wants to start with. So these things he'll get an idea, and how can he start and go about it. So,
Thank you. Thank you.
and work in a group, and also hear from other people, right? Yeah.
Okay, more people you can
Yeah.
ask. Yep, Sahil is here. You can ask Sahil some questions. I think there's a lot to learn from him and his journey. So go ahead, please. Feel free to ask him or interact with him.
Yeah, sure. My son also shared the same interest, whatever he's like, same bikes, photography. He goes on the rooftop in the midnight to click photos, and like in the middle of his exams, he's playing his guitar, like exam preparation, so board exam. So we didn't mind.
We have one question from Yogi.
Yeah.
So just a minute, we'll just answer this question, and then yeah. So Yogi is asking, how are you welcomed as an open learner in the real world?
1 second. Yeah. Honestly, this real world thing hasn't actually made any difference, as in it's more or less like a perspective, I would say, or how you see world actually, probably, because I have till date actually not faced any difference from what I've been doing or any of my other same age group, I would say, is doing. It's just that I kind of started working from a slightly younger age. So I would just consider that as I've just like how you fast forward a scene in a movie. So I've just reached there. So I have honestly, so because of that, I have right now, my friend circle is a little more of a older age than me. That's like the only difference, I would say. But if you've noticed, like if your question is like not a conventional part of like if I've not completed my 10th or 12th is the thing, till date I have not experienced any issues with that actually.
Maybe she's also wanting to know, you have clients, you have people, have they asked you, oh, you are just an open learner, you haven't done 10, 12, no college, is there, or has your work only been the main thing? Yeah, that I guess
With my clients, the problem I have is, so when I am meeting them, the clients are always like, most of the clients I've been meeting is either startups or really old companies who lacks a digital presence. So when they meet me, I started my company when I was just 20 years old. So then the first half an hour, I'll have to they'll still be in a shock that I'm just 20 and I've started my own thing, and then I'll have to explain how the whole thing. So the first half an hour to 45 minutes will go on how I've started my whole thing. Then after that only work starts. So that's probably the only problem I face. But apart from that, I don't find any other issues or problems with this.
But do they like that you have done it this way, or do they say, no, why didn't you? Meaning they kind of, is there any negative in terms of that you have not done all of that? And
so till date, I haven't faced any negative side of this though, because everyone's just, it takes time for them to process it. They're like, so wait, so you went 1 week of ninth, then nothing. So, and after that, I'll be talking, and then they'll just jump back to the part where, so 1 week of ninth and you've started your own company. Then I was like, so he's like, they'll be like surprised, you don't need your 10th grade? Like, no, I haven't faced any. Then he's like, do you have a driver's license? Out of the blue. I'm like, yeah. He's like, don't you need a 10th grade for that? And he's like, do you have a passport? I'm like, yeah. don't you need a 10th for that? I'm like, no. So all these is just probably perception. I have never really faced an issue without a 10.
Yeah. Yogi, did we kind of answer your question? Yeah, okay, she's saying thank you. Okay, I think Sujay also wanted to ask something.
Yeah, Sahil, so just wanted to ask you, like, your company currently, what kind of things you are doing for your clients? What are the activities that you are doing, and are you alone, or you already have, let's say, friends as a network together, as a part of organization?
Sorry, I didn't get the last part. Your
Okay.
voice kind of got.
Okay, so what I said is, your company currently, what kind of, what kind of work that you all are doing, and whether it's you alone or you have, let's say, your friends together, and you all together came and form a company.
So I'll tell you how it started. So it was just me and one of my friend who just started as designing posters in general. And then when we started doing social media marketing, that's the second services we started. That was just Instagram and Facebook. Then we moved to website development as well. My partner, he develops websites. So then, because I used to do photography as a separate entity earlier, then I incorporated that into the firm. So then I used to handle the entire photography side, and he used to do the website development. And in both of us together, used to handle social media of other companies. Then when clientele started increasing, I started hiring people. Like I had 3 designers and one content writer and some more people. But then the second lockdown happened in 2021. So that and then containment zone, and it was not very clear what the situation was. So then I kind of made all of them into a chain of freelancers. So they are free to work with other companies. So they were under contract in my company. So every time there's a project, they'll just use to report. So we were right now we're a team of 15 people right now. So
Excellent.
that's how
And also do tell how old you are, because you keep saying as if 20 was like many years ago.
yeah, I'm just turning 23 next week. So
He's born 2000s.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, very, very good, Sahil, and all the best to you and your team for the future work. And
Thank you.
just one follow-up question I will do to the first one is, so what kind of other things that you guys have in mind, like where you want to take this company? Like, is anything in the mind as of now?
So right now, just to say, like the services we provide is we have web development, social media marketing, SEO, search engine optimization, then branding, photography, videography, and so complete a digital analysis also we do for companies. So right now, this is the services we provide. So so this year we've decided, we thought there's no stop for learning, as what Ratnesh also mentioned. So this year I'm like kind of relocating to Dubai, and my partner is off to UK. So he's come from a very conventional path. He has completed his 10th, his 12th, and then his BCom, and now he's going to do a MBA. So he's doing that, and I come from so he's like a railed train going in every stations. I'm like a derailed train going through my own path. We are reaching the same, we meet at the same stations, but yeah. So yeah, so this year we thought we'll explore more. So we're like kind of reducing our clientele for now, so that we thought we can travel a bit and learn more on the way. So that's why I'm off to Dubai and he's off to UK.
Yeah, very interesting. So all the best again. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey Sahil, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I am not so good at talking as you are, so there will be a hodgepodge of things. But roughly speaking, I have a comment and then I have a question.
Sure.
See, I've been hearing you speak for the past half an hour or so, and I don't know how to explain this, but I can sense what Ratnesh was saying when he introduced you. You know, when he said that one of the two things was your unusual way of caring for everybody, right?
Okay.
I mean, I can sense it when you speak, the way you talk, and you know, I guess that is one of the secrets of your success. You know, with your customers,
Okay.
take half an hour just to explain to you why you're so different, and then you and that kind of patience, and I can see your demeanor. I can sense your demeanor. It's really amazing.
Thank you.
It's sort of an an empath. I don't know how to explain this. I'm not good at this. See, the question I had is now you are obviously 23 but super successful. I have no doubts about what you feel today, but I want to ask you that during this journey, since you were going like this derailed train, and you don't know where you would reach and stuff like that, were you ever, scared about financial security, what you would do in life later on? And if yes, how did you get through it?
So I would probably, yeah. So when I started working, so my first projects I started getting when I was 16. So that time I never really thought of like, though I started shooting, it never occurred to me that okay, this is my work, or I've started working. It never really struck me then, because I was at home. I used to get my meals on table. So I used to just consider whatever I used to get as income, or it's just an extra pocket money. So that time it never really struck me. But then, so that consistency through work was there throughout. So then, when I moved to Kerala, so my family was in Bangalore, and I moved to Cochin when I was 18. Only then I started finding that okay, now I'm kind of financially independent. So only then I started managing my finances in a way that okay, so I can't go all out on something, because earlier, okay, I want that, okay, I have this, if I have like $5 left back to reach home for bus, okay, I'm like, okay, I have enough money. That is probably when I started managing my finances. But this financial stability or security, yeah, it is a concern. But what is probably get me going is because only you get more work and more thing, you won't have that issue. So that's probably one thing which is driven me. So yeah,
Yeah,
because I've been like constantly been working from 18, like independently. So from 18 I've been independent in financially, because I've been in a different city altogether. So this financial stability, yeah, it is a concern, but isn't that a concern for everyone though?
no, it is Sahil.
Yeah.
See, the only part is when that financial stability fear comes in, we leave our basic nature and we become, selfish, greedy, and everything else. My only suggestion to you and prayer to you is, Sahil, don't change who you are. I mean, you're an amazing person. I want to get to know you personally. I mean, honestly, thank you so much and wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, everybody. We are nearing, we have reached 7 o'clock. It's time to pause for today. And much like we would like to talk more to Sahil, we'll catch you again, Sahil, after a few months. When we'll catch you in Dubai. You can't, with social media, with Zoom and all, you can go anywhere, but we will be there with you. So we'll catch up and we will chit chat more. So for now, let's pause this discussion. I will also quickly share a poll, which I'll request people who are here to just respond, just for us to get a sense of how you are receiving this whole journey of CoVersity. So I've just launched a poll. So this is for people to respond. And meanwhile, I'm also sharing the link. If anybody needs it, you can go ahead and kind of see the website for more details and ask more questions. Even if you have a question for Sahil specifically, you can send it to us and I can connect with him and get you the answer. So I'm just posting the links once again. The website link and the group link. We have a CoVersity group, so you can join that CoVersity WhatsApp group. So that's for people who want more information. And just a reminder that we have a bootcamp, which Kritika was explaining, it's a trailer. It's a 1 week experience of what CoVersity is all about, what Aarohi is all about, and that would be at our campus. So that's a wonderful way for any youth between 4 to 21 to experience in 1 week what CoVersity could be like. And then if you like it, CoVersity starts towards the end of June and you can join in, and minimum joining time period is 1 year, which means you do 2 cycles of 6 months and you see what does to you, not just in terms of what domains you explore, but also what it does to you. And then you can decide. So invitation also is for a lot of youths who may be not sure, can think in terms of taking a year to say, I want to deep dive into myself. So that's the invitation to people to deep dive into yourself, take a year off from whatever else you are doing, deep dive into your interest, like how Sahil deep dive into his interest, and then he went like a derailed train. I won't say derailed train, I'll say a rally car. That's what he is to me. And so do consider this thought about gifting a year to yourself, to find yourself, nothing else, no other objective. In 1 year, you won't suddenly become something huge, but the idea is to find yourself, to discover yourself, to energize and empower yourself, and then kind of you can continue either with CoVersity or you can be like a rally car, how Sahil is. So thank you very much for joining, and please respond to the poll. And thank you, Sahil.
Thank you, Ritesh.
Have a great time in Dubai, and I'm sure you have already projects lined up, so you will be busy, but we'll keep catching up with you.
Done. Sure.
Okay, bye. Thanks, Sahil. And thank you everybody for joining. And have a good weekend.
You too.